Be good if we get the backdrop.
Actually, yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sweet. All right, first, would you mind telling me your name?
It's Moe Kessler. Do you want me to spell it or anything?
Yeah.
It's M-O Kessler.
And what's your involvement with this particular event? Are you helping administrate it, or?
Well, there's not really administrators. I've just been involved with Occupy Greensboro since their third meeting, which happened in, they started in like early September, late August. So I've been involved since then.
That's incredible. So what are Occupy Greensboro's goals?
That's a really hard question. Not that there isn't any goals. It's we're so much about gathering consensus and offering a space for voices to be heard that we're strategically shying away from an agenda, a message, a goal in that way, because we want everything to ebb and flow based on the community that we're pulling in. And to leave the door open for more and more ideas, you have to leave the space open. So there's a lot of actions that are happening within Occupy that are much more obvious of our goal, which, you know, the common ground, the most common ground that people have with each other, in my experience, is that people are fed up with a broken system that puts profits before people. And are very tired of all of the injustice that happens when your economic and your political system are tied in a way that doesn't leave room for anyone to have a voice unless you have a ton of money and can afford lobbyists.
So is this kind of more like an awareness kind of thing? For the Occupy as a whole?
Or is it kind of like a platform for what the people want?
Oh, are you talking about the direct encampment, or?
No, just your event here in general.
The movement itself.
I think it's both. Like when we gather people, and because the banner around Occupy Wall Street, the only thing that they put out is that, you know, it's the 99% against the 1%. And the fact that 1% of the world owns 50% of the world's wealth, you know, that leaves a lot of room for a lot of discussion of what's broken. And so, yes, there is a lot of awareness that is brought into it, because everybody has their own individual stories of how they've been influenced and affected by this. And so when we come together and we share, there's awareness that is gathered. But then it's also definitely a platform for direct action that, you know, that's sort of the model that we have. We come together, we meet, we bring resources, and then we decide from there what we would like to participate and what we would like to do.
All right. Would you mind telling me, if you can, if you had to label yourself politically, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but like, what are your personal political convictions?
I believe in social justice.
Social justice?
And that's as far as I will go with that. I think the whole system's broken, the rhetoric around the system's broken. I don't believe in identifying myself in any category of that, because none of it represents me. So yeah, I believe in social justice. I believe in people over profits. I believe in creating a new democracy that actually works. And so in that goal, like, I'd rather not list myself as, because I feel like I'm identifying with this system that's broken, and I don't want to identify with the system broken. I want to participate in things like this that are creating democracy and space for voices and consensus.
Is there any political group that you feel like is on your side? Not any party or anything like that, or is there no one else on Occupy's side right now?
No, I think it all comes down to individuals. I think that, and that's what is the most inspiring aspect for me of the 99%, and that everything that comes around it is that it goes across all political lines, it goes across all religious lines, it goes across all these traditional barriers that people carry with themselves, to start talking about, hey, we're losing this country on so many aspects. And, you know, if you were to come to a meeting, you'll see that there are people of all different types of backgrounds, with all different types of political beliefs, that are all able to come together and work with each other on a respectful manner. And we aren't about agendas in that way. We're about creating a community that actually represents the community that we want to live in. And that's our biggest common ground.
So, well, the general consensus among non-occupiers is that, like, the Occupy movement is just kind of like a left-wing sort of, kind of like the left's answer to a Tea Party. Is that accurate in your perspective?
No, I don't think it's accurate at all.
Okay.
I feel that there's, personally, I didn't I didn't agree with, and I felt very uncomfortable with a lot of the language around race and around social issues that the Tea Party used. But in all honesty, there's a lot of things that people were saying that people in Occupy are saying, and there's people that are from that same movement that are actually in Occupy. There are also a ton of people that used to work for the Obama campaign. There's a ton of people that still do. And so, like I was saying earlier, it goes across all lines, from people that believe that you can work in the system to fix it, to people that believe that you need to destroy it all in order to rebuild it. And we just try to hold space for it all, because, you know, it's about rebuilding community, because we've been so isolated with this, the divisions that have been projected upon us in this political system has left so many Americans isolated, when, like, we need to be pulling our resources together and talking about how we can make this better, because we're all suffering. And that's the biggest point I would like to address, is that this isn't anything of a right or left issue. It's a people's issue. We are all suffering. No one is succeeding if you're not a part of the 1% in a way that is productive at all. And if you are succeeding, you still are playing into systems that are broken. You still might send your kid to a public school, which is still broken. And there's so many things that need to be done that it's just best to, like, leave it open and leave that at home. Like, we need to be together, not divided based on arbitrary labels.
How long is the encampment going on?
We've been here since October 15th.
October 15th.
Mm-hmm. And October 15th was the national, it was a worldwide call from Occupy Wall Street to show solidarity. So that was why we picked that day to have our march and to come and start occupying a space.
Okay.
How many people would you say do you have in the encampment?
The encampment, like, fluctuates between, like, 10 and 30 people. The actual GAs, like the meetings that we hold, if you were to add everyone together, it fluctuates between, like, I don't know, like, on a given day, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 200.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a ever-changing crowd, so if you were to add everyone together that has ever been a part of them, it would be way more into, like, in my opinion, like, I'm bad with numbers, but like 400 area. We did get like 1,000 people out to our march, and so there are people interested that go beyond like the numbers of tents behind me.
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you some, like, completely unrelated questions.
That's cool.
Personally, what do you do when you're not helping with the Occupy? Yeah, when you're not occupying.
Well, Occupy owns a lot of my life right now, but I'm an artist, and I work a service job in order to help me continue to be an artist.
Okay. What kind of art?
I'm a mixed media. If I had to go on a label, it would be more of a conceptual artist that finds certain mediums to meet my concepts rather than just like a painter or a sculptor.
So does it kind of blend other forms of art, like I guess like any music at all or anything like that?
Yeah, I do some sound art and visual or film art, and I've done performance art in my life.
Okay. What brought you to that sort of profession? Yeah.
I've been making art since I was really little, so I think it's just been a part of my need to express myself. It's a language that I speak better than verbal language a lot of times. So.
Is it an outlet?
Yeah, it's definitely an outlet, but it's more than that. It's like who I am. I identify like as an artist more than I identify as anything else.
Also, this may be unrelated, it may not be. I assume you plan to vote in the upcoming presidential election.
Am I planning to vote in the upcoming? Yeah, I'm planning to vote. I don't feel comfortable sharing what my plans are of who I'm voting for.
All right. I don't know if there is any sort of Occupy candidate right now, or is anyone that comes close, or is
not at the present moment.
Okay.
Like there's more like people running for Greensboro City Council and things like that are identified. I won't speak for them. I don't want to speak for anyone but myself.
Okay.
But there are people in that area that are attuned to the things that we're asking of. But with how much money that is in politics, I don't even see how you could become a presidential candidate and be able to speak to Occupy. Like, you don't rise to that stage if you're not taking corporate greed money. And that's also one of the, in my opinion, one of the most corrupt things about our system is how much corporate money is in it. And sadly, it's what closes the door to so many candidates that might be on our side.
Okay, that was an awesome answer. That was helpful. Okay.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think.